So in the studio tonight, we've got the Razer Cobra Pro wireless gaming mouse. Now the Razer Viper is one of my favourite mouse styles. I absolutely love this. And the Razer Cobra Pro is a very slightly smaller version of the Viper, almost like a Viper Mini really, but this has all the RGB and sort of high-end features and price tag to go with it. So we're going to unbox it and we're going to test it out on my laptop behind us. So let's see what we get in the box. So first things first, we've got the mouse. We'll look at that in a second. Then we've got a little sort of desk stand for the actual dock. But obviously I'm going to be putting this in my laptop. And then we've got our 2.4 gigahertz wireless dongle that can be stored in the mouse, which we'll look at in a second. We've got some instructions, which is the nice black with silver item, which I like. The Razer stickers. Obviously you need those, and a little thank you message from the CEO. All right, what else? And then lastly, we have a USB-A to USB-C cable. So obviously you can charge the mouse with this. So plug this into your PC, and then the USB-C directly into the mouse itself, and you can run it wired, or you can plug it straight into the back of this little dongle here, so then have the actual wireless receiver on your desk if you're using this with a desktop PC. Now I am going to be using this with my laptop, so I'm going to plug this directly into the laptop itself. Now another great thing with the Cobra series is at the bottom here we've got a little disc. You can take this disc off and you can buy the wireless puck, which can then be used with the wireless magnetic charger, and I will be getting one of those, so I can just pop it on the desk and it'll be held magnetically in the actual little charging dock. Also, if you take the puck off, you'll notice that's the space you can store your 2.4 gigahertz dongle. So let's take a quick look around the mouse. We've got nice rubberized pads on either side. I do really like that. It's what we've got on the old Razer Viper Ultimate, but I believe they got rid of that now with the newer Vipers, which is a bit of a shame because I've always loved the rubber grips when you're holding onto them. We've got the two Viper style buttons on the sides. You'll see they are very slightly shorter than the Viper Ultimate, but we've got a nice little space between them. But they're very easy to press. They're slightly out from the mouse. You won't accidentally press them, but they are easy to hit when you want to. We've obviously got the mouse wheel, which is just a typical scroll and click. The click is very good on there. And then behind that, we've got the DPI buttons that can be reconfigured in Synapse if you wish. Then we've got the left and right mouse switches, and these are the optical Gen 3 switches, and they do feel really nice. They've got a good life on them as well. And yeah, all the buttons feel great with the mouse. Then underneath we do get the Focus Pro laser, and it's the 30K optical sensor, so one of the newest sensors. As you can see, we've got some decent PTFE sort of skids as well. And you'll notice that we've got a profile button, because you can store the profiles on the mouse itself, and you can click through the profiles. And then on the little right underneath, we've got an up and down switch. In the middle is off. If you press it up, you go into Bluetooth mode, so you can connect it to your laptop via Bluetooth. And if you press it downwards, you bring it into the 2.4 gigahertz mode for when you're gaming. Now this is one of the reasons I wanted this. It's compact, so it'll go in my laptop bag, and I can use the dongle when I'm gaming and Bluetooth when I'm just working on the laptop. Now the material, as I said, we've got rubber sides, but the actual mouse material, got a little bit of grip on the buttons, but otherwise it's pretty smooth. Weight-wise, we're talking 77 grams on my scales here. That is quite heavy for such a compact mouse in this day and age. I mean, if you're using an older mouse, like this is the Viper Ultimate, and that's 75 grams. So this is smaller, and I'll show you here now. So it's actually smaller yet heavier. And I think that was a lot of the criticism that this mouse got when it was first brought out. When I put it side by side by the Viper V2, you can see it is a very slightly more compact gaming mouse. So I don't know quite why it is so heavy. I know there's a lot of RGB. We've got RGB all around the base, in the back, and I believe on the wheel. Maybe that's what's half the reason behind it. So I'm now going to go behind me and I'm going to set it up on the actual laptop, and I'm going to put it head to head with my Viper Ultimate and just see how it gets on. Okay, so I've plugged in my dongle into my Razer blade. It's automatically detected my Cobra and installed the drivers, and you can see it is now showing in my Razer Synapse. Now straight away you can see the Cobra Pro, and it does show you the battery you've got available. I've got 39% left. Now, clicking on the mouse itself takes us into the menus where you can adjust, firstly, the buttons. So you can see straight away all the buttons by default, their settings, all of those can be changed. And you've got a hyper shift as well, which gives you secondary functions for everything. But you need a hyper shift key, or you need to dedicate it to a hyper shift button somewhere on the mouse. If you look underneath the mouse here, you'll see you've got the hyperspeed multi-device pairing. This is a really handy feature because it's a hyperspeed mouse. It will then allow you to pair to any other hyperspeed dongle. So if you've got multiple keyboard and mice on hyperspeeds, you can put them all onto one dongle to save you having to keep switching out or have lots of dongles that say in your laptop. So that's really quite nice. If you've got a keyboard and 2 mice, say, you have them all on this one dongle. So let's move into the performance section. By default, we've got 5 levels of sensitivity. It's set to stage 3 in the middle. And you've got the top buttons here, which allow you to scroll up and down through those sensitivity stages. Now, personally, I think 5 is a bit excessive. You can have less. I like to have 3. And I like to have 400, 800, and 1600. Because of the games that I play, it's very easy for me to move between those 3 to access the DPIs that I want, and that's perfect for me. With regards to the polling rate, it's set at 1000 because I've got 2.4 gigahertz dongle. You can switch it down to 500 or 125. That will give you more battery life on the mouse, but obviously you will be a little bit slower. Now 500, I can game at 500, but like 125 is a bit slow. But if you're on Bluetooth, you naturally would be on 125 anyway. But when I'm gaming, I do like to leave it at 1000 and accept it's going to drain the battery slightly faster. Next, we have the lighting section. Now, by default, it comes in at 33% brightness on the lighting, and that is still pretty bright. But let's just whack it right up to 100%. So you see how bright that is. I mean, that is insane. That is so bright. Now, that will drain your battery faster, obviously, so I'm going to keep it at about 30%. And it is currently set to just spectrum cycling. There are loads of options. My favorite is the wave. And as you can see, as we put that on the wave, we get a nice effect going right across the whole bottom of the mouse. The actual Razer logo on the back and the wheel. It's the same as I've got on the keyboard on my mouse. I like them all looking like that. You've got things like breathing, fire. Fire always looks good. It looks better on the keyboard, I think, than it does on a mouse, but it looks good on this strip along the bottom here. Reactive, spectrum cycling, the static if you want a particular color scheme to match other peripherals that you've got on your desk. But as I say, I absolutely love that wave, so I'm going to leave it on that one there. Also, you do have the advanced effects, so you can go to the actual Chroma Studio and set up everything together if you've got lots of peripherals. But personally, I just put them all on wave because I'm quite lazy. So we've got to the mouse surface calibration. It's set to medium by default. So obviously your cut-off distance as you pull your mouse away from your mouse mat. The medium seems fine, but you've got a low or a high if you prefer. And as we move to the power mode over at the end, the left-hand side, we've got the wireless power saving. If you don't use the mouse for the default 5 minutes, it will turn itself off to save you battery. You can adjust that from 1 to 15 minutes. And again, we have the low power mode as well, where it will drop the brightness and everything down on your battery when the percentage of your battery is very low, so that you don't just die on you if you're in mid-game. So all in all, some great features there. Like the fact, obviously, that I've got the Razer Blade with the Razer Synapse, it all works together, is one of the things that I absolutely love. And being such a compact mouse, it's great for going in my laptop bag. So when I put it up against the Viper, although it's not much smaller, it certainly feels and it is a lot more compact. It's also particularly useful having that Bluetooth mode as well, because I do use it with the laptop. Sometimes I don't want the dongle sticking out of the laptop if I'm out and about with it, and I will just use it on Bluetooth. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, this is quite heavy for such a compact mouse, but it does feel rugged. There's no rattle. There's no creak or squeak when you squeeze it, like some of the Death Adder mice, which I don't particularly like. And even though it is smaller than the Viper, I feel that it's very accurate and tracking well in my mouse accuracy test. So overall, I've been really impressed with this mouse. I love the RGB, I love the rubber strips. It's a really comfortable mouse to use. Now, it did get slated when it first released just because of how heavy it is. Everyone was expecting a very light Viper Mini. This isn't that mouse, but for me personally, with my Razer Blade, I'm really happy with this model. Now I will be buying the puck and the wireless charge, so I can just pop it down and have it charging. It's a really nice feature. It will save me plugging in the USB-C to charge it. That's the only thing I'd like to have had in the box, but unfortunately it's an extra $70. So that's something you've got to consider if you want that wireless charging. But overall, as this mouse goes with the Bluetooth, the 2.4 gigahertz, the performance, the compact nature, it's just an excellent mouse. And for a laptop companion, I think it's really, really good buy.